I am dangerous.
Today we're going to talk about the Neon Demon. The Neon Demon has Ellie Fanning, who plays Jessie. It also has Jill Malone, who plays Ruby, and a surprising cameo from Keanu Reeves, who actually plays sort of a supporting character. This movie was really interesting because it has a lot of audiovisual language, which lately there's not a lot of in Hollywood cinema. It uses cinematography and color in a way that is really relevant to the story, and it really strikes you visually, and it has a way of kind of showing you something without having to tell you, which is basically audiovisual language. There are a lot of flashes and a lot of like sort of like when you walk in Vegas and everything is just flashy and everything is like really amusing and just kind of gives you a high, a visual high. This is that movie. This movie knows how to show you the glamorous lifestyle by visually striking you and attracting you like a moth to a glowing light. The story starts with Jessie, who is this girl that moved to LA to become a model. The interesting thing about Jessie is that she is very pure, and she starts the movie as a very pure being and very innocent, and everything around her is very corrupt and dark. Not only just like the characters, but just everything. And eventually, the more she gets involved in modeling, and the more she gets involved in this world, the more she becomes corrupt, and the more she becomes one of the rest. And she basically gets possessed by this neon demon. Models in this movie are very envious of her and of her purity, because the thing about the main character, Jessie, is that she doesn't have anything particularly special about her, but she does have this aura of pureness. And all these models just want to have that, but they can't achieve that because it's something that just comes with naturally. There are all these models that just try to kind of change themselves physically. And Jessie doesn't care about that. She's just being herself, and that's why all these people around her want to be her. The thing about Nicholas Winding, he knows that he does controversial visuals, and he likes that, and I respect him for that, because in reality that's what art is all about. It's about creating something that comes to you, and you shouldn't filter it and you shouldn't tone it down. You should just put it out there raw, and whoever likes it likes it, and whoever dislikes it then dislikes it. There's some really striking imagery in this movie, and it is very metaphorical and very physical. And the fact that he doesn't tone down the violence and the nudity, because those are things that are very striking, especially for American audiences that are not used to nudity. He uses ways of telling the audience that Jessie is very different from the rest by putting a lot of like lines that divide her from other characters. Another thing that I like is that they use these like flashing lights and these neon colors that are so visually pleasing that it makes Jessie kind of go into it, surrendering herself into this lifestyle. Basically let herself get possessed by this neon demon, metaphorically speaking. The more she does, the more modeling she does, the more it gets to her, and the more cocky she gets. And instead of seeing herself as loving yourself for who you are, she becomes proud of it, and she becomes egocentric, and all this fame just gets to her, which creates a lot of enemies, because in the beginning she didn't know that she was, really good at it. And now she thinks she's a shit, and all the other girls don't like that. I mean, it's good. It's good to have self-confidence, but it's not good to just brag about it. In the movie, that creates a lot of enemies. Um, a lot of the girls do a great job by just being these damaged characters and these damaged people. For example, Jenna Malone, who plays Ruby, is fantastic. And she's one of the few characters that kind of shows that she's true and that she's part of this artificial world. She's part of this artificial lifestyle, but she has a little bit of good in her, and she sees that in Jesse. She does, and she's attracted to that. I mean, physically, she's attracted to her too, but also her pureness she's attracted to that. In the end, I would say this movie is fantastic. I really love seeing a movie that you can analyze, and every time you see it, you see something new, because that's what movies should be like. Obviously, not all movies are gonna be as indirect as this movie, because you really have to analyze a lot of shots, especially at the end when things happen and things really go down. I would give it a 4-star out of 5. 4 out of 5. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one.